me translate after you ask the question, and then before you ask your follow-up.
Just to be clear, we're not canceling anybody. We've done that in the past. And
Took them years to write a nice article.
Go ahead, Caleb.
There were a lot of questions that I could have asked throughout the whole match, but I got asked about the emotions after that game winner from Gomez. It seemed like the whole team was just up out of their seats and just going crazy.
Yeah, I think it was one of the most emotional games that I've experienced probably since Dami's last touch to get us in the playoffs in 2021. I haven't felt that type of energy from the group, with the steely mindset to stay in it when we weren't at our best. But again, we talk about mental fortitude all the time, and the guys after the game mentioned the same, and they feel like whether we're playing great or we're not playing well, whether we're winning or we're behind it, the people in this room have incredible mindsets, and I think and credit to the fans who really push the group forward, and again, that's what home field's all about, and so I think it all kind of culminated into this moment tonight, which was a special moment against our biggest rivals, on a day where it could have definitely gone pear-shaped, but again, speaking to the resiliency of the guys' mindset, was really the X factor tonight.
And then talking about the guys who scored the goals, Chicho and Gomez both with 2. Chicho's been a stalwart. He's been pretty consistent throughout. Gomez, at his young age and just his rapid improvement, is the sky the limit for him?
I mentioned this last year. What Gomez is doing has finally translated from the practice field to the game field, on the stage. Last year he was banging goals in for fun. So everything that you're seeing this year is what he's doing last year in training. What the difficulty was understanding how to achieve the same thing with real pressure. And there's always a moment in a player's life, player's career, where that switch goes off. And when you think you can, you start doing it. And again, I think Chicho having the kind of year he's having has definitely attracted a lot of attention his way. Andres is doing a good job of reaping the benefits of that. Luna's doing a great job. Crooks is doing a great job. So, our attacking group has been fantastic. I think the sky is the limit. And the other thing with Andres that is very unique is his ability to defend for the team. And oftentimes when you have a winger that is that prolific in the attack, he's walking back. But he's sacrificing everything for the group. And when you put all that together, he's one of the more dangerous wingers in this league.
Landon, you want to go next?
Pablo.
The crowd was super into it tonight. Talk about maybe what that means to the players when you're down a goal in a rivalry game and the crowd is just providing that excitement.
Yeah, I mean, again, I said it in my interview after the game. The 12th man was spectacular tonight because, again, I think we're on the sidelines trying to, get the guys engaged. But it's a lot different when there's 4 of us on the sidelines versus 25,000 fans that are really pushing the team forward, that are tilting the field, that are instilling belief in the guys in moments that are very difficult. And so, again, I think that's what made this game special. The eruption after the goals, you felt it in your soul. And so if I feel it on the sidelines, imagine what the players who have battled 3 games in a week, who are tired, who are below, who are losing the game, the energy that brings to them was spectacular tonight.
Hey, Pablo, rough start. You want to talk a little bit about what you saw and how those first 2 goals played out?
Yeah, so, I think, again, a lot of things, and again, we're in the part of the season where this was really our toughest stretch as far as games. And so, we have to analyze, should we have put fresher legs out on the field? But given the continuity of the group and the performances that we had in the previous 2 games, I felt that it was the best way to go to start the game. However, I felt like we were flat. We were second to any loose ball. There wasn't the pep that we've had, and so these are great learning experiences for us as a coaching staff. to make sure that we're and you don't know until you go through it. And so I thought we were a bit sluggish, a bit tentative. The tempo of the game was a bit slow. Two goals that they conceded, we didn't really have. They didn't have to work really hard for. I felt like, and that's on all of us. That's not on the back line. That's on everyone that was on the field tonight and on the sidelines tonight. So, but I think what sticks out in my mind is when we're on the front foot defensively, that engages us to be more proactive offensively. And I just felt like we weren't asking any questions defensively, which allowed them to walk the ball up the field. And so I think in the second half we had a better approach to the game, better mindset, and I thought the guys were spectacular. And I think what makes a team great is, because you can talk about all the tactics you want. At the end of the day, football comes down to the little individual battles on the field. And when you have a group of guys that are willing to do whatever it takes to win a game, if they're not feeling great, if they're down 2-0, you can bring up all these things. But the mindset of everyone on that field to say, you know what, we're down 3-2, and there's only 10 minutes left, but we're going to win this game. That you can't coach. That is the guys in the locker room committing to one another to be better than they were the game before. And for me, I think that's the greatest takeaway from this game, especially a derby in any sport. There's heightened emotion, and when you can tilt the field in your advantage and you have 25,000 fans going nuts, it's a great moment, especially coming from behind and winning the game in the fashion that we did.
Awesome, thanks.
Paulo, congratulations on the win again. Can you walk us through a little bit through the subs that you made tonight? It seems maybe you hold off Fidel a little bit. You also was maybe a little Catranes and Matt were a little upset coming off.
Yeah, I think when you're in the run of form that we're currently in, no one wants to come off the field. You're right, and I think that's what makes our team great. That's what makes these guys great, is they're competitors. They never want to be taken out, right? And in the world that we coaches live in is, how do we inject some fresh legs? How do we inject a different look to ask questions of what Colorado's doing? And so, as I think it was in the 80th minute, we were going to put Fidel in, and we were going to take Brody out, and we are going to have him play in the right half space and press out from there. We're going to play three in the back, and then we scored the goal. So then we held it off. But again, then the Ojeda sub was more that he put one of his largest physical loads against Seattle, and Nelson has been waiting for an opportunity to get in there, and I thought tonight he was fantastic. And this is what we've been, this is what we and Nelson has been waiting for, is a performance that makes it so we have three starting central midfielders, and he did that tonight. And then Chang, and then Quentin for Brody was more. They're going to have set pieces. They're going to have a lot of opportunities to just lump them all in the box. Let's get some height out there. And then Chang for Luna was more. Luna's played 3 great consecutive games and has reached the form that he was at the end of last year when he was carrying our group. And it was just basically about getting some fresh legs out there. And Chang, he went in there and did a great job, and was a big part of the Anderson's goal. And so then Anderson was obviously, they play with a high line. How do we threaten the space behind? And he did it a couple times. He had 2 really good looks on goal, and for him to score that goal was a big thing for Anderson, because he's been close all year. But that goal really, again, all these moments really inject belief and into the group. And so we got a great team, and we got a great mindset.
And last question for me. Last Wednesday, you talked about how there isn't really much of a home field advantage, but today it seems like the crowd and everything pushed the team to go up. Are we still on the same page there?
No, I think home field advantage is, the onus is on us players to make the home field advantage. The fans show up every game, so the onus is on us to continue to perform at a high level that gets the fans excited, that push the team forward. It's a symbiotic relationship. Without players, there's no fans. Without fans, the players don't play for anything. And so the onus is on us as a team to make this a home field, to make this place a home field advantage.
Thank you.
Let's go to Justin Ruderman on Zoom.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for your time. Just in terms of Chicho, when you bring in Anderson Julio and put him in the 9, now you have Chicho in the 10. How does it, or second striker kind of role, how does it help the team to know that wherever you put him, whether it's the 9 kind of second striker role, he's going to contribute, he's going to kind of drive this team on to victories like this? Yeah,
no, I think, again, Chicho is a player that I think from a deep, from a withdrawn striker position, and he's playing in the right half space, he's got an ability to combine really well with Andres, link up with Ando, hit a big switch. I mean, he is a playmaker. And so, the only ask with Chicho is we put him out there to make sure that when we get the ball and or we break lines, is that he gets in the box and he's contributing on that end. And he does that. And so now it's more like we have 2 strikers on the field that can both score goals, but bring in Chicho's attacking qualities to our build is something that we've seen over the course of these last 14 games, and he does a really good job of that and getting in the box. And so now there's really 2 guys in that area that have goals in them, and I think he's done a great job in at the 9 and at the 10 as well.
Pablo, Matt Pollard, Burgundy Wave, good to see you. Testing, are we good? Okay. Pablo, Matt Pollard, Burgundy Wave, good to see you again. There's been a lot of discourse between and among these 2 fan bases about how to feel about you. Rapids fans seeing you as a former legend who's now coaching at the other team, and RSL fans who maybe don't have positive memories of you originally, but you continue to win them over with the way that you coach. Do you care about that? Do you think about that? What do you say to Rapids fans who don't know how to feel about you?
Matt, with all due respect, this has nothing to do with me. Listen, I think this game, and I said this back then, or maybe I didn't know it back then because I was a young, naive coach. But this game is for the players. No one comes to see a coach, and for me, it's a fantastic rivalry. Chris Armas is doing a great job in Colorado. He's got his team playing really well, and but it's regardless of what I say, the people that enjoyed me being in Colorado will still enjoy me. The guys didn't like me in Colorado still won't like me. So it's really a moot point.
Good to see you, Pablo. It's always good to hear how you think about the game and your place in the universe.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Pablo, el miércoles hablaste de la derrota ante Colorado en marzo, que fue un momento de cambio dentro del equipo. En los días antes del partido y hoy, antes del partido y durante el partido, ¿eso fue algo que hablaste con los jugadores para recordarles sobre este partido otra vez?
No, sabe, yo siempre me enfoco en las cosas que necesitamos hacer mejor. Yo creo que todos los equipos son muy buenos, juegan estilos diferentes y para mí hay que aprovechar otro partido donde tenemos que defender de una manera porque estamos jugando contra un rival diferente y atacar con el mismo compromiso. Yo creo que no pasé mucho tiempo hablando de Colorado. ¿Sabe por qué? Porque los jugadores ya saben que es un rival, nuestro rival más grande, que hay una copa en este partido y para mí es siempre buscando lo positivo en lo que estamos haciendo y mejorar en ese tema.
The question was, you guys played against Colorado in March and you guys lost. Was that something you talked to the guys about leading up to this game? Paulo said no, that they didn't really focus on that. The boys know that a rivalry against Colorado is already there, that he doesn't really need to implement that, and that he likes to focus on the positive of what the group is doing because every time they play a rival, they want to defend to what the rivals are bringing them, but they want to attack the same way, so they want to keep that consistency going.
Y todos van a estar hablando de Chicho y de Gómez. Pero quería preguntar sobre otro mediocampista defensivo, como hice el miércoles, en Anelli, que yo creo que tuvo un excelente partido también. ¿Qué puedes hablar de su partido hoy?
Pues yo creo que el Nelly el año pasado fue un jugador que jugó varios partidos, pero yo creo que este año ¿cómo se dice? Es un jugador clave para nuestro grupo. O sea, el trabajo que Nelly hace con el balón, sin el balón, yo creo que lo está haciendo a un nivel top. Para mí es uno de los mejores volantes defensivos en la liga, y yo creo que este año, como el Andrés, es el año que todos en la liga lo van a conocer. Y si no lo conocen, no está mirando nuestro equipo jugar, porque es un jugador clave, fundamental en todo lo que hacemos. Y lo que me gusta más de Emeka es que siempre quiere mejorar. O sea, está contento con el trabajo que está haciendo, pero él sabe, si se dedica un poco más al fútbol, puede llegar al nivel europeo con la selección. Y también es una persona en el vestuario que o sea, es uno de los mejores compañeros del vestuario.
The question went, everyone will be talking about Chicho and Andres after tonight, but he wanted to ask about Anelli's performance. Pablo said that Anelli played a few matches last year, but that this year he's been a key piece of what RSL is doing. His movement on and off the ball is key to what they want to do defensively and offensively. He sees Emeka as one of the best defensive players in this league, that like Andres Gomez, the MLS will get to know Anelli if they're watching, and that if he keeps putting in the work, that he'll have chances with the national team to go to Europe, and that Anelli always just wants to get better.
Thanks, Pablo.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Can you hold this open,
How many? 3 or 2?
Chicho, felicidades por tus goles y por lo que estás haciendo por el equipo. Tus sentimientos. Estás como goleador de la MLS, superas a Messi, superas a Luis Suárez, jugadores que probablemente alguna vez tú los has visto jugar y ahora te pones a pensar y dices, estoy como goleador.
The question was, congratulations on your goal and your contributions to the team. What do you feel like surpassing Messi and Suarez in the Golden Boot leader race? How do you feel like passing these players that you've probably looked up to playing?
Muy contento de todo lo que se viene haciendo, pero más contento de la forma en que viene el equipo, de la forma en que venimos ganando, de la forma en que estamos construyendo esa mentalidad ganadora, esa mentalidad fuerte y positiva. No queda nada más que decir que todo lo que estoy haciendo es gracias a mis compañeros, gracias a ellos. Sin ellos nada de esto sería posible, y obviamente estoy muy motivado y agradecido porque se está haciendo goles, porque se está haciendo asistencias, y no queda más que seguir trabajando fuerte.
He's very happy being able to score and assist, but it goes without saying that none of this is possible without his teammates. But he's more happy with the form that the club is in, the form that they're constructing, their mentality this season, and he's overall content with that. But again, nothing is possible without his teammates.
La última parte para dar pase a alguien más. Cada partido es una historia diferente, cada partido es una emoción distinta. ¿Has tenido algo similar a lo que has vivido el día de hoy con este marcador adverso a los primeros minutos, luego el 2-0 y luego de estar no empatados, te voltean el partido otra vez y una serie de goles, sentimientos, emociones?
This game was wild, pretty much. So what are your emotions? Have you ever felt like this before?
Son sentimientos muy locos, como tú lo dices, son sentimientos muy locos que son buenos vivirlos. Viví algo parecido en la final de la MLS con el AFC. Son sentimientos muy locos donde no queda más que ser fuerte mentalmente y enfocado en el objetivo. Y en el objetivo de cada partido es ganar. Si vas perdiendo, remontar. Entonces, orgulloso más que todo de todos los compañeros, de cómo afrontaron y la mentalidad que pusieron en el terreno de juego.
It's been crazy emotions, but in those type of moments you have to keep your mentality and your eye on the objective of the game, whether you're losing or winning, but that he had felt a similar feeling in the MLS final with LAFC.
Chicho, buenas noches, felicidades por la victoria otra vez. Y te quería preguntar algo que pasó después que Gómez metió gol. Tuvimos a ustedes dos charlando y tú emocionándolo más. ¿Cuáles fueron tus palabras como capitán para él en ese momento?
There was a moment with you and Gomez after Gomez scored. What did you say to him as a captain?
Bueno, yo le tengo un premio a él. Yo le doy $80 y me hace una asistencia.
¿Es hombre de palabra?
Pero entonces él hace 2 partidos me dijo, hey, si me haces una asistencia te voy a dar 100.
Entonces, te debe 100.
Le estaba cobrando y dije, me debe 100.
Perfecto. El miércoles yo le dije que si bailaba y me dijo que sí, bailó hoy también. Sí, un hombre de palabra.
Sí, un gran jugador, tiene un potencial increíble y esperemos que nos siga aportando con goles y asistencia, que lo está haciendo muy bien.
So they have an agreement between Gomez and Chicho that anytime Gomez assists Chicho that he'll pay him $80. And so 2 games ago, Gomez told Chicho that if Chicho assisted him, he'd pay him $100, so he was just charging him. But that if Gomez keeps contributing with goals and stuff, that this team will be successful.
Y por último, quería preguntar algo gracioso también. ¿Cómo está el corazón después de todo esto, verdad? Que un partido, como dijo Don Will aquí, que era un partido héctico, ¿verdad? Que venimos de abajo y luego empatamos, otra vez de abajo. La mentalidad tuya y la mitad para los compañeros, ¿qué se dijo en ese momento?
How's your heart and feelings after a game like that? Being down 2-0 to being down 1-0 to bringing back and now winning. What were your emotions like?
Hoy es un día muy feliz para mí, por todo, desde que me levanté. Mi chiquito terminó temporada y haciendo muchos goles. Felicitar a mi otro hijo que quedó campeón el día de hoy. Mi familia con salud, tengo a mis padres acá conmigo, a mi hermano, entonces mi esposa está conmigo, entonces estoy muy contento y con el triunfo de hoy yo creo que aún más contento.
That my day has been great ever since the morning. My 2 kids finished season. My other son was finished as champion. But just spending the day with my wife and my kids, and obviously now the win, my day couldn't get any better.
Chicho, ¿se imaginaban una temporada así, a estas instancias de la temporada, vaya, con el equipo muy bien enrolado, siendo líderes y teniendo una buena ventaja sobre el segundo lugar?
Did you guys as a team imagine yourself in this position during this time of the season, being first place in the West and having a sizable gap between you and second place?
La pensábamos desde el principio de temporada, la pensábamos, la soñábamos y la queríamos trabajar, y es lo que estamos haciendo. Venimos trabajándola, sabemos lo que queremos, sabemos el objetivo, entonces se viene construyendo algo bonito, donde ahorita es el reto más difícil de seguir manteniendo. Ahorita todo el mundo apunta al primer lugar, entonces la fuerza mental debe ser el doble y seguir adelante.
In preseason, we saw it, we wanted it, we worked for it, and it's just we're creating something beautiful here throughout this part of the season, but we're getting to that tough part where it's about maintaining the form.
Y bueno, también se habla mucho de ti por el tema del líder de goleo, del MVP. Mucho se habla de ti con respecto a eso, pero anteriormente te había preguntado también sobre Pablo, sobre Mastroeni, que ha sido un entrenador muy importante, pero poco se habla de él, de que puede ser un candidato importante para el entrenador del año. Ha hecho las cosas bien, no solamente dentro del grupo, sino también en lo táctico, porque hoy, después de ir abajo en el marcador 2 veces, el equipo supo recuperarse, y mucho se debe a los cambios que ha hecho y a las formaciones que ha hecho, porque te ha cambiado de posición y ha sabido hacer bien las cosas. ¿Qué piensas tú sobre eso?
There's been a lot of chatter about you going for MVP and Golden Boot, but dark horse for Coach of the Year should be Pablo with his tactics and changes that he's made during the game. For example, being down 1-0, 2-0 tonight, and the changes and the formations that he's made, kind of changing you into position. What do you think about that?
Esos objetivos son buenos, no te miento, esos objetivos son buenos y positivos, pero hay un objetivo más claro y más potente que es el grupal. Entonces estoy enfocado en el equipo, en que el equipo pueda hacer las cosas bien, en aportar. Y algo muy que admiro yo del profe Pablo es que él es un docente antes que técnico. Él es persona antes que técnico, y eso nos da a nosotros a entender de que está ahí para nosotros, de que está ahí para una palabra de aliento, para un consejo que necesitamos, y yo creo que ha sabido llegar a los jóvenes, a los más grandes, y yo creo que ese es el liderazgo que él nos ha podido aportar, y es un liderazgo admirable.
Pablo he's a human first before coach, and that has made him really approachable, whether the players need a shoulder to cry on or some advice. That has helped him get to the younger generation as well as the veterans.
Y Chicho, uno para mí. Cuando llegaste al equipo, dijiste que la meta era ganar campeonatos. Ganar trofeos específicamente, que el Real Salt no ha tenido trofeos aparte del Rocky Mountain Cup desde hace años. ¿Te ves eso muy posible este año, que el año pasado no llegaron a un final?
When you first got to the club, you said it was a main goal of yours to bring a trophy back to this club, since we haven't won a trophy other than the Rocky Mountain Cup in a long time. Do you think that is possible this year, since last year you guys weren't able to get to any finals?
Es el objetivo, es el sueño, queremos trabajar para ello, pero todo es paso a paso. Yo creo que todos los equipos de la liga trabajan fuerte para lograr el mismo objetivo. Entonces queremos estar enfocados en apuntarle a ese sueño, pero el sueño siempre hay que trabajarlo, esforzarse, mentalizarse y quererlo. Entonces lo estamos intentando, queremos llegar lo más lejos que podamos, queremos quedar campeones, queremos todo eso, pero no hay que olvidar que también hoy hay muchos más equipos que también quieren ese mismo objetivo. Entonces va a ser lindo el recorrido del año.
But that's the goal, that's the objective, but it is day by day. There's also every other team out there that wants the same thing as they do, and they have to remember that, they have to work for that. But that's the beauty of the journey, kind of staying focused on it and being consistent with it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Gracias. Chichitos.
¿Listo?
Gracias.
Gracias a ti.
Adiós.
Vámonos, campeón. Hasta luego.
Emeka Eneli.
You wanna come in?
Thanks, Landon. It's good to see you. Have a good night, man. No kids, Emeka?
No kids.
So, Emeka, congrats on the win today. A really tough and crazy game. What are just your overall thoughts and feelings about what happened on the pitch today?
Yeah, I think maybe one of the craziest games I've been a part of, but the belief in the team, the belief in each other, that even when we went down 2-0 and then went down 3-2, that we were always going to get back in the game. I think we showed that and showed our mentality as well throughout the entire game. And obviously the result then played its part for us, so very, very happy for that.
So it's not going to count in the books, but you basically got an assist on Chicho's second goal. It seems like you and Ojeda and also Palacio today were taking a lot of chances from distance. Have you guys been practicing on that to try to get more opportunities at goal, or is that just something that just naturally happened today because of the way that the game was playing out?
I think it just kind of naturally happened how the game was playing out. The way we play, we try and really pin teams in. So sometimes, they have 9-10 players behind the ball, and that allows a lot of space for, us pivots, our 10s as well, like at the top of the box whenever balls like bounce out off of a cross or anything like that. So I think just taking our opportunity when we have the chance, and I was able to do that off the corner, obviously, hit the crossbar, and then Chicho finished it.
And then I asked Pablo about you earlier as well, and he spoke very highly of you, basically saying that the sky's the limit for you. What are your goals and aspirations as far as your career?
Good question. You know, I think I really just focus on the present. So really just focused on this season, trying to play the best that I can, play as many minutes as I can, and just help the team win. Win the league, you know, win the Supporters Shield, Leagues Cup. So, you know, I'll just focus on what I can do this season, and then after that, you know, reevaluate where I want to go, my heights, my things that I want to do. But really just, you know, I really try and focus on the present and what's going on right now.
Emeka, you are one of the players that has played pretty much every minute so far in the season. And Pablo described you as a key player for what Real Select is doing. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very happy. I mean, whenever you have the trust of your manager, you know, it's just a great feeling because you feel like it excels your game, you know, having that confidence from Pablo. So I'm very grateful for that and just want to continue to build on that.
Yeah. And your relationship on the field with Ojeda seems like you guys know where you are without seeing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you guys talked about a lot in practice, or how did that come to be where you guys know where you are?
Yeah, I think it just comes through training. You know, we do a lot of pivot work individually. You know, me, Ojeda, Nelson, just us three. After trainings or before trainings or like in between trainings, you know, things like that. And I think just getting a feel for each other is what we've done really well, and it translates to the game, you know. So the more pivot work we do in training, you know, the better it looks in games, and we kind of just know where each other is at. I know his tendencies pretty well. I think he knows my tendencies really well, so I think it kind of just pairs together very well, and we just want to continue to build on that, you know, throughout the season. 'Cause I think it could be even better, you know.
Emeka, congratulations on the win. And my question for you is, you seem to be taking really good angles and then getting physical at just the right time and just the right amount of physicality. How do you balance that out with taking fouls, giving fouls, and kind of that balance there?
I think it's just kind of second nature and just knowing where the opponent is, you know, because like the ball, I think there was one time it happened in the second half, their striker that came on, the ball bounced up in the air, and like I took one or two glances before, and then I took the touch, and I knew he was coming from behind me. So if you can get your body in front of him and then kind of slow down a little bit, you can draw almost any foul as long as you're strong enough to keep that ball and don't let it get poked away. So I think I've been doing that for a long time, even when I was playing in college. It's just kind of second nature to me, you know, protecting the ball like that. And just really knowing about your surroundings and your awareness, and it allows you to protect the ball really well and draw those type of fouls.
We can go to.
Oh, yeah, English, yeah. And Becca, just one question for me. So you had to come back not just once but twice because you guys were down 2-0. You guys got the 2-2, and then 3-2. You guys got to come back. So my question is, how do you stay calm during those times? Because tensions are high, everyone's pushing around. Obviously, it's a rivalry against Colorado Rapids. So how do you just stay calm to not get a hot head and maybe get a card, a dumb card, maybe even get a red card at that moment?
I think it's just belief in the way we want to play, our structure, and belief in one another. I mean, I know we played Colorado 2 months ago here. We went down 2-1, and we kind of went away from what we were trying to do, how we were trying to play, and then ended up losing the game 2-1. We went down 2-0 here, and I think it's 2 months later, obviously, in the season. We've matured a little bit, so we kind of know how we want to play. And even if, no matter the scoreline, no matter if we're home or away, we want to play that same way. And so I think just continuing to do that, when us as a team know that that's our structure and that we have belief in each other, no matter what the score is, we're going to try and play how we want to play. And we have that belief that we're always going to come back in a game. And so when we went down 2-0, there's belief we were going to come back and make it 2-2. We went down 3-2, even though it took a long time, just continuing to chip away and, you know, not getting frustrated, not being impatient, because as long as we, you know, continue to do what we do, stick to what we know how to do, the goals would hopefully come, and obviously they did today, and so very, very happy for that. Yeah.
We can go to Carson on Zoom.
Hey, Emeka. Great game today. you've been kind of Mr. Consistent throughout the whole season. What do you do to like make sure you're consistent every game?
Good question. I think trying to like reset after each game. You can't really look too far in advance in the season. There's so many games. If you do that, like you mentally you won't keep up. So I really just try and focus on the next day at hand, even if it's just training. Like we play on Saturday, so we have Sunday, Monday off, but just focus on the training on Tuesday, trying to get one day better then. And then that goes into Wednesday, into Thursday, into Friday, and then game day on Saturday. So I think just really focusing on the day in hand, whether it's a training, whether it's a game, it keeps you mentally locked in and mentally focused. And we've played 14, 15 games so far this season, and it's done me well. So hopefully it can continue on that.
You talk a lot about like the mentality of things. Or do you have like routines you do like every game day, like before every practice? Like what can you tell us about that?
Yeah. I wouldn't say, I guess before a game, I do the same thing every time before a game, breakfast, and I just relax, take a nap before the game, then pregame meal, maybe watch a show for 30 minutes, and then kind of just get ready for the game. But it's not really like, I don't really have anything super, super specific. I think you're just finding what works for you, So like, I just kind of fell into that routine early on in the season, and I've continued with it, and it's just been super helpful. And I think another thing is, my coach at Cornell, I still talk to him. He's hopefully going to come out here in the summer, and I think before Cornell, I didn't really focus on mentality or anything like that, but going to Cornell and meeting him, he was basically all about mentality, and I think it kind of made me look at the game in a different way. Obviously, you need the technical aspects, the physical aspects, but I think now mentally just being able to be focused 90 minutes the entire game, not letting your opponent, see a soft side in you, just things like that just really can take you a long way, and I kind of learned that from him. So just continuing to build on that, work on that, because I think every single day, you can get better physically, you can get better technically, you can get better mentally. So just continuing to try and, improve in those aspects.
Thank you, Emeka.
Emeka, I just got one last question. So it's only been 14 games under this kind of new model, this new setup. How much more can you guys improve on it? Is it just detail and nuance, or is there still a lot of room for cohesion and improvement?
I think it's both. Whenever you're kind of learning a new system, like 14 games seems like a lot, but it's really not, because I feel like for teams to really get their structure or their system down, it can take, years. And obviously as you get on later in the season, it's just smaller details, things like that, which is some things we're trying to focus on. But I think just each day, each week, trying to just get a little bit better, not make super big strides, because it's, not possible, but just small strides each day will add up throughout the season. And then we do that and hopefully just see where it takes us.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Emeka. All right. Team is off Sunday and Monday. We'll be back in Harriman every day next week, Friday morning, and then we go to Dallas at like 1 o'clock Friday. So back to a kind of a normal schedule. So we'll send the schedule out tomorrow. I don't know what time trainings are yet. Probably 10:30 or 11. And then anything else you guys need, just let us know. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Trey.
Thank you, Carson.
meme from the Twitter.
Oh, I loved it. That was a big surprise. They told me they had a good one for me.
I mean, it's got to be good.